Hi, this is Kate with Kate's Paper Creations, and today is not a card making video. Today is a craft room organization video. I have been storing my ribbons in drawers because I've had a really hard time deciding what kind of solution I wanted for them. I don't like having them in a drawer because I can't see them there. And when I don't see them, I have a tendency not to use them. So then I end up at the end of each season with all these ribbons that I haven't used. So with the Stampin' Storage shelf, I'm able to see all of my ribbons. It stores them neatly, and it's a really unique item. I will put a link to Stampin' Storage in the description below, and there you can find out all the details on the size and everything. They also create these shelves for the IKEA cabinets. So those of you that are going all on and getting those IKEA cubicles, they make them to fit those as well. So let me take you to the ribbon storage shelf, and then we'll go to my desktop where I can show you how I solved my spool issue. So here is the ribbon shelf. I have a bookcase in my stamping room. I'll back up so you can see it. And this is what I use to store my stamp sets and my punches and my dies and my embossing folders. And the Stampin' Storage ribbon shelf fits in. I took one shelf out and it fit perfectly when I adjusted it out. Okay, it is 20 inches tall, 19.5 inches wide, and 5.5 inches deep for the one that I purchased. And it holds an abundance of ribbon. For me, it was perfect. I will never fill this totally up. Some of you might need more space, and they do make larger ones as well. So there is the ribbon shelf. Now let's go to my work table and I'll show you how I solved my ribbon spool problem. My problem with this was some of Stampin' Up's ribbons come on a round spool, and I can show you one of those. It's just like this, nice neat round spool, and it's got a hole in the center, and that hole is actually 3/4 of an inch, and that's great. Now when I've been doing this for 20 years. Do you think I've ever saved one of these cardboard spools? No, I'm not a keeper, so I didn't have any. I put out the word to all of my friends and all of my customers and said, do you have any empty spools? And I got a couple, but they don't keep theirs empty spools either. So I ran into this problem of wanting to have all my ribbons and threads on a spool, and sometimes Stampin' Up sells the threads and things, and they're on just a little cardboard tube, and so they won't work in my new holder. Okay, so I decided it was time to figure out what to do. And so I went online and I searched and searched and searched and could not find empty ribbon spools, plastic or cardboard. I couldn't find them anywhere. If you could find them, let me know, but I could not. So my next best thing was to find something I could make work. So these I got from Amazon. These are 4 inches around, and they are thin wood. These are 3.5 inches around, and they are cardboard coasters. And 6 of these coasters glued together and then glued into the center of these wooden pieces, like this, creates a ribbon spool. Now, for my particular situation, I don't need it to have a hole in the center, but you could put a hole in the center like this. This is just a 1/2 inch hole, but you could drill it because there's plenty of room. If you've got the ability to do that, or someone who can do that for you, you could put a hole in the center and create your own spools. Now, if you're kind of obsessive compulsive about your organization, and you like to have everything be uniform, you might want to switch all of your ribbons and threads over to this kind of a thing. And then when you use them up, you can switch and put a new one on them. What I do also is I write down what is on them. This one is linen thread. It's from the annual catalog. Here's the catalog number and the cost and how many yards. I do this with just about everything I use. All my stamp sets have a secondary cover on them. All my embossing folders, all of that has a secondary cover on it, and at the bottom in the blank space it shows you what catalog it's in, what year that catalog was, what page it can be found on, what the item is, item number, and cost. And if it coordinates with another item in the catalog, I write that in there too, because when I hand those out for the customers to look at, when they want to buy it, they don't want to have to dig through the catalog. Many of them don't even bring their catalog to the workshops. So they can look at that, they go, I want that. And there's the number and the information and everything they need right there on the product. And I pass it around, and then they have their order forms, which they always get when they come, and they can write it right in. So that works pretty slick. I just wanted to show you that to you today. Like I say, I put a hole in the center of this one just to show you it could be done, but I didn't do it on mine because I don't need to. You could also get fancy. You could take and paint these first, spray paint them or hand paint them. You could put designs on them. You could stamp them and give them a unique look. I mean, there's so many things you could do because they're blank. You could make them pretty, and I will probably be working on that in the future because I also like to have beautiful things around me. So that's my stamping room organization tip for the day. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm glad you stopped by. Be sure and check the description box. I'll put links for these products and for the Stampin' Shelf as well. Thanks for stopping by.